Hello everybody, this is Jack with Jack's Chicklin Photography. A few videos ago, someone left a comment stating they would like to see me edit one of my pictures. So that's what I'm going to do today. I exclusively edit in Lightroom, and then every once in a while I'll import to Photoshop if I need to do something a little bit stronger that Lightroom can't handle. But for the most part, I try to do everything I can in Lightroom. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Lightroom. And there it is. This is the picture I took when I was on a business trip in Miami. I was at a hotel across the way. So this is the view from my hotel room facing Miami's financial district. This is exactly what it looks like in camera, or straight out of camera, I should say. And I'll prove that by just going settings and reset. So nothing was applied to it yet. So the first thing I usually do is every once in a while I'll play with the auto, see what auto comes up with. If I like it, if I don't like it. Also, this is a long exposure. I shot this on ISO 200 using a 24mm lens. Shot it at f22 for 51 seconds. Now, to get a capture that long is 51 seconds. I used a filter, one of the Lee filters. I believe it was a 5-stop filter. Otherwise, a lot of the light areas, as you can see with my mouse, a lot of these light areas would be a lot more blown out than what they are. I also shot this at f22 because you see the lights are starred out that way. That's not another filter doing that. That's exactly what happens when you shoot with an aperture of f22. So, and these streaks here are actually cars driving by, and that's the light captured from them. And because it's long exposure, you don't see the car, you just see the streaks from the headlights and from the brake lights. So again, here's the overall picture. So like I was saying before, I hit auto every once in a while to see what it looks like. And that's not too bad. I'll go a little more on that. For example, so first I like to punch up my contrast a little bit. So I'm just gonna move my slider up to about +13. Highlights, if you hit the Alt button on your Mac keyboard, and then highlights, I usually like to bring them down here, and then right when I start seeing them, I stop and I pop it up that way. I do the same thing for my shadows. There's gonna be a lot of shadows in this because it's a nighttime photo. I'm gonna pump that up a little bit because I want to expose some of that a little bit more. My white balance, same thing. For about here. And then clarity, I'll punch up just a little bit. You scroll down here some, you'll see sharpening. I like to sharpen a little bit. First I zoom in on something. And then, again, hold down my Alt key, it goes to black and white. So when you see something, oops, lost that. So you see it really pixelated, like right here, how it looks really super grainy. That's sharpening way too much. So you gotta back that down until that goes away. So right about there looks good. You don't want to over sharpen your picture. If you do, it looks, in my opinion, it just looks horrible. But already this is starting to shape up really well. Getting a lot more punchiness of the lights. You see a lot more of the flow of the light streams from the cars. So far this is looking really good. I always do enable profile correction, remove any kind of chromatic aberration. I generally don't see those. I just click it just to be on the safe side. And enable profile correction. It just corrects my lens because I'm using a wide angle lens. At times you'll see some bowing effect. That will take away that bowing effect. So, and then every once in a while I'll check myself to make sure that I actually was straight when I was taking this picture, even though I was on a tripod. I'm not always straight when I do that, so this helps me out quite a bit. And that's just me rushing through the picture instead of taking my time. I believe this is about, well, as you see here, it says about 9:30. I took this in February, which I was happy for the business trip because it was cold in Michigan. But it was 9:25 at night when I took the picture. So, and then let's go ahead and mess with white balance just a little bit. See, that's way too blue. You don't want to do that. And white balance is really subjective to the photographer. My whole goal is when I'm editing a picture is to remember the way it looked and the vision I had when I was taking the picture, and then try to get it back to that. That's why I don't do too much in Photoshop. I'll do a little bit, especially if I'm doing portraits, just to fix up some straggling hair, stuff like that. My next video, in one of my other videos, I will edit a portrait so you guys can see me do that as well. But the questioner, wasn't specific whether they want to see a landscape or a portrait. So I figured I'd do my first one as a cityscape, a nighttime cityscape, because that's what I really like to shoot. It's really fun to shoot that. I just started getting into doing cityscapes like this. So I think I did a pretty good job on this one. There's still some things to clean up here. As you see, these dots right here. This is something on my sensor causing that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. And it's right here is a spot removal tool right here in Lightroom. Just grab it and then use your mouse to control the size. You just want to go a little bit bigger than what you're going for, and it does a pretty decent job of grabbing it. And then there's another one right here. We'll do the same thing. Again, it does a pretty good job. Now this one here, turn this off. If you notice this here, this is actually, which is barely viewable, and I lost it. Now here it is. This is actually, I believe, a star trail starting to form, because usually around a minute is when you start seeing that, where you actually see the stars rotate, since the planet is rotating, you know, so the stars will actually leave a streak if your exposure is long enough. And like I said, this was a 51-second exposure, so it's right around the minute time. I'm going to go ahead and remove that because it's not the effect I was going for. So it's gone. Now go through here, and there's another one right here. Go ahead and clean this up as much as possible. And you have to be careful because sometimes Lightroom gets that wrong. Like I'm going to paint a big one right here. As you can see, this part right here. So if you hold on your mouse and move it up, it'll actually paint where you want to cover. And that did a pretty good job. So I'm looking at the picture, see if there's anything else I want to change. I might punch up the vibrance just a little bit. You don't want to go too much. If you go way over here, it obviously doesn't look good. Again, it's very subjective to the photographer or the person doing the editing. I'm just going to punch it up just a little bit. And then same thing with saturation. Again, if you go way too crazy with saturation, again, it looks really bad, looks really fake. So, and the other thing with saturation, you can go to desaturate, and it almost looks like a black and white, but it's taking away all the color. I generally don't use that as an effect because I just don't like the way it looks. And saturation, I'm not doing much with saturation. I'm not liking the way it looks. Let me see what else I can go through here. Now, if I was worried about my grain level showing or pixelation showing, you can go to noise reduction. And then just notice how it took that right out. Let's do that again. This is 0 noise reduction. You can see a little bit of the grain here, or pixelation, if you will. I'm just going to apply a little bit of noise reduction, and that smooths it right out. Now, when I shot this at ISO 200, I could have went to 64, just ISO 64 if I wanted to. My camera can go that low natively. I didn't for whatever reason. I thought maybe I was worried about how long I was shooting the picture for. I'm not sure exactly because I usually try to go as low as I possibly can on my ISO to get so you don't get that grain in your images. And I'm just going through here, looking through to see if there's any more spots that I see. Like here's one right here. I'm really picky about that. And one of the reasons I'm picky about it is if you enlarge this to 16 by 20, 20 by 30, you're going to notice grain. You're going to notice the little stuff, the little artifacts that you didn't want there. And it could compromise the way your picture looks, and you just don't want that. So right here is my final. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks great. As you saw, I didn't do that much editing offhand. I mean, I could have went to Photoshop and went crazy with it, but like I said, that's generally not my style. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, or you can shoot me off an email. I will leave in the section in the show notes. I'll leave my email address, so if you guys want to send me an email with questions, or you can leave questions in the comment areas. I review them all and I will answer them all. And hopefully, if you have any more ideas of what other videos you'd like to see, let me know. I will make it happen. So once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great night, and I will see you on the next one.